Hey Blush Tribe, it's your girl Blush, and I'm back at you guys with another episode of Glam Chat. I know it has been such a long time since we've actually sat down and do a little chatting, but it's well needed because Lord knows that I need the therapy myself. Um, but I wanted to share some things with you guys. I thought it would be pretty neat since we're kind of in the back to school time frame where everybody's returning back to school from elementary, middle school, high school, and even college students. What I wanted to share with you guys is the top 10 things that I wish I knew before I entered college. Some of these things I may have I probably attempted but didn't put forth a lot of effort, or I just didn't know about it until later, or if I knew what I knew now, I would have I would have done it because it could have paid off, or it could have been something beneficial for my life now, in my early 30s. But sharing these things with you guys hopefully can allow you to gain some knowledge for someone who is a college graduate, or who has experienced the college experience, college career, and you can take some things from it and hopefully apply it in your college career. So stay tuned and listen to the top 10 things that I wish I knew before I went to college.
Stylific, it's that hard to see you couldn't find another chick doing it like me.
All right, so this is not gonna be in any particular order, but at least I want to start with the high schoolers because that's where it's gonna begin. So a lot of schools, a lot of high schools offer programs where it will allow you to take college credits while you're in high school. So depending on if you've completed most of your high school credits, or credits that will allow you to graduate, if your school offers it, you should be able to take on certain college classes while you're at high school. This is a good thing because on average, they'll tell you that the time it's going to take for you to get your associate's degree or to complete your 2 year college degree is 2 years. If I'm not mistaken, I could have it wrong, and I'm sure it may vary from state to state, but I believe in order for you to get your 2 year degree, you need about 24 credits. And if I'm incorrect, I will correct myself in the description area. But I believe it's 24 credits. Now, 24 credits, some people can, depending on if you can do the whole full time student deal, you can finish that within the 2 years or less than the 2 years. And then there's people who life just happens and it may take you 4, 6, 8 years to obtain that 2 year degree. Nonetheless, as long as you get the degree, that's all that matters. But if you want to be able to get your degree within that 2 years or less, taking on college credits while you're in high school, dual enrollment, is definitely a good option. I think it's a smart thing, and I definitely encourage those who are thinking about it to do it. Because if you can finish your college career earlier and get jumping into your real life career, why not? So while you're in your senior year, you want to also make sure your GPA, not just in your senior year, but throughout your high school time, make sure your GPA is top notch. It's very easy for your GPA to drop. One thing can allow your GPA to drop. So you want to stay on top of your GPA. If there's a class that you're struggling in, talk to your parents, talk to the school, and see if you can get a tutor. If it's if it's just that you're not focused, find things that will allow you to be more focused, be more interested in at least getting your grades to be between A and B, because even a C or a D can drop your GPA. And the reason why it's important to keep your GPA where it needs to be, which we'll get into that in the next few segments, is for scholarships and things of that nature. Also, depending on what program you want to get into when you go into college, or your out of high school institution, they definitely do look at your GPA. So you want to keep your GPA as high as you can get it. I'd say don't go below 2.5. I mean, 2.0 is considered, I would say that's considered average, but 2.5, 3.0, definitely a 4.0 is what you want to strive for. But I'd say try to get it as close to 3.0 as you can get it. Top three, the third thing I would say is to research your intended major. What is it that you're interested in? Now, when you're choosing a major, don't choose a major simply because it's a hobby. Okay, so you like singing, so you like to act, so you like dancing. Those can be careers, but it can also maybe be a hobby. You don't want to just go into college simply because you like you like to do this certain thing. If your major is something that you're interested in, yes, it will help you get by college a lot quicker because you like this item. But then again, you have to think about this major that I'm in after high school, after college, when real life hits and I have this degree in my hand. Can I do anything with this degree? So many of us go to college, go to these, 4-year universities, gain these degrees, take on these student loans, and really and truly cannot find a job with the major that we've gone to school and spend so many hours, so many years trying to obtain. So you want to make sure that you can do research on your intended major. Don't do it because your parents want you to do it. Don't do it because that's the end thing. Research it. If it falls into the category of it's something that you would like to do, it's something that can be, life thriving. Meaning when you finish graduated college, can you live off of the money you'll make with this degree? I would definitely recommend logging on to bls.org, which I believe is the website that allows you to see the different jobs and career paths, and look to see how much money, the statistics, how much money you can make, what's the salary, things of that nature. And you can actually even look at it by state. So let's say you live in Florida, but then you're thinking about moving to Maryland. So you can look to see if your intended major, when you graduate college and you get that degree, is it something that you can do and that will be thriving, that you can live off of if you move to Maryland, because things may vary state to state. That is my number 3 thing that I wish I knew, or I wish I would have paid more attention to before getting into college. My 4th thing is moving into the next realm, which is financial. Funding your college career can make or break just your next move in life. Period. Like I mentioned before, a lot of us take on these majors, go to college so many years, and we cannot afford to even live because you're not making money off of the major that you're taking. So sit down. By the time you get to your junior year, your senior year of high school, sit down with your parents. Talk to them about what is your plan in funding your college career. Some parents say, hey, I did all I can do for you up into your adult years, up into your 18, now you're on your own. Some parents, from the time that you were young, they set up a college fund for you. So if you don't know about that yet, maybe you can sit down with your parents and see if that's something that they've done for you. Some are willing to go half and half with you while you're in school or while you can get on your feet. Whatever the plan is, you want to sit down and talk to your parent and see what the plan is. Now, if your parents maybe can't afford to send you to college, so to speak, meaning that they can't afford to fund your college career, but of course they want you to still go, it doesn't mean that you can't still attend college. There's other options. You do have scholarships, you do have grants, and of course you have what I wouldn't strongly recommend, but if you absolutely need it, you have student loans. I would definitely go for the grants and scholarship first. Now, what I mentioned before, doing extracurricular activities, there's a lot of things that you can join while you're in high school, from sports to the chess club, the band. There's a lot of different extracurricular activities that you can join depending on the school that you're in, depending on the county, state, and so forth. That can actually provide scholarships. Looking at your GPA, looking at what kind of um, what have you done so far, in your high school life that can be meaningful enough for them to provide you with a scholarship to go to college. Also, sometimes I believe in the state of Florida we do have Bright Futures, which I believe is sponsored by the Florida Lottery, if I'm not mistaken. But some of you have your state scholarships. You even have scholarships just for being black, just for being Hispanic, just for being Haitian, just for being. There's different scholar programs and companies and organizations that create scholarships that they may have a certain amount of money that they want to provide for scholarships. You have to do your research. You have to sit down with your parents, talk about what you're funding, what what are you guys going to do to be able to fund your college career. Make sure it's something that you guys talk about from the time you're in your junior year, so you know what you need to do. And if that means, if you really want to be able to fund your college, if that means getting a part-time job, if you're able to, while you're in high school, to be able to save up some money, do it. This is going to be extremely important because being a college student, man, it can be tough financially. It can be very, very tough. We'll get into that in a little bit. um, Going to a 2-year college. So for myself, what I ended up doing, and I'm happy I did it. At first, I didn't want to do it that way. I wanted to go straight into a university. The university that I wanted to go to was the University of Central Florida. I don't know if I had ended up getting accepted or if my mother just didn't want me leaving right after high school. Y'all, I got Caribbean parents. I got a Haitian mom, and they ain't about that, out of state, out of town college life. So I kind of needed some time to convince my mom. So what I ended up doing is I went to my local community college, which was Miami Dade Community College at the time, but it's now Miami Dade College. I did my 2-year degree there. It took me longer than 2 years, but I did do my 2-year degree there, and then it made it easier for me to transition from the college to the university. A lot of times when you're going straight from the high school to the university, they ask for a lot of things that you may not have right out of high school. So going into your 2-year college and transitioning into a 4-year university is a whole lot easier than going straight from the high school to the 4-year university. So that's definitely an option, and it will help you save money because university tuition is a whole lot more expensive than the college tuition. And then also, especially if that university is a private university, tuition can definitely begin to add up. So your grants can only go so much. So eventually, you only have this much that your grant will cover. What about the remaining portion of your tuition? So going to a 2-year college first is definitely a good option. If you want to go straight into the university, that's awesome as well. But again, to save money, that's definitely an option. I mentioned before student loans. I am not a big fan of student loans. Um, you see it all the time going on Facebook statuses and just people complaining about the fact that they have student loans up the wazoo. For me, myself, I feel like I have student loans without even having a mortgage, and I don't feel like that's something that a college student should have to face right after graduating, because there's no telling that you're gonna find your dream job, that you're gonna land your dream job right after high school. So I feel strongly that student loans should be your last resort. Try getting those scholarships. Try getting those grants. Try saving up if you can. If you're one of the lucky ones that was able to find a part-time job while you were in high school, save up. Put your little coins away. You're gonna need it when you go to college. Man, let me tell you something. Like being a college student, like, which goes into my next thing. I think we're at number 7 now. I think we're at number 7. College students are usually broke. We're usually broke. Um, I remember going to college. I remember, well, when I was living in Miami, you was living at home with mommy, you was living at home with your parents. So, my little coins, it went to me. I went shopping. I brought whatever I wanted because I was living with mommy, and All I had to do was pay like water or something, and the rest of my money went to myself. So it was all good. But when I decided to go to the 4 year university after graduating, getting my 2 year degree, this was a totally new environment for me. I ended up going to University of North Florida, which was in Jacksonville. That's where I started off first. And the only friend that I had was a childhood friend that lived down in Miami with me, but she had moved to Jacksonville a few years before. So that was the only person I really knew. And then there was another person that was like a family friend, but I mostly spoke with my childhood friends. So every time that we had a chance on the weekend to hang out, which I appreciated her a lot because she'll call me and see how I'm doing, and find something for me to do to hang out because she knew I knew nobody there. And whatever she was able to help me with, she was there for me. So she was a blessing for me. But being a college student was really hard because my mom took me up there, and then of course she did a little shopping for me so that at least like the first couple of weeks that I was there I had things there. But then it's like, okay, after that 2-3 weeks was up and the groceries that I came up there with was gone, I was like struggling trying to figure out what the hell I'm gonna eat the next day, and it was really hard. It was really hard. Um, and then I ended up finding this weird behind job. Like it was around the time when I think they were campaigning for Obama, and so I had this like canvassing job where I had to go from like these little spots to spots and passing out things just to get people to vote, not for a particular party, but just to get them to be registered voters. And man, it was hard to even just get money from that job. So being a college student can be very, you're broke. But that doesn't mean you give up. Spend wisely. If you do have a little bit of money, if your parents are able to give you a little bit of money, spend wisely. Don't spend your money crazily, like as if when you're at home with your parents, because you're not. You're living on your own. This is your introduction to adulthood, so you want to spend your money wisely. Shop at consignments. So even like a lot of fashionistas, a lot of their stuff aren't brand new, and you wouldn't even know that. Going into like secondhand clothing stores is definitely, I don't think it's a bad idea if you can find something nice, just wash it and wear it, and that's totally fine. Um, there's this particular place, I'm not sure if any other state has. I know that it's in Florida. We have a place called Plato's Closet. And Plato's Closet, you can buy consignment or secondhand clothing, and you can also sell it. So if you have some items in your closet that you don't wear anymore, that are either lightly worn, and it has good value, you can always try to see if you can go to some of those consignments and sell them, and you can make money that way. If you're able to get a part-time job, get a part-time job. Also, side hustles. If you do hair, if you do nails, you do makeup, if you wash cars, if you have side hustle, if you have skills that you can do that can make you some money, get on it, sis or bruh. Like, there's money to be made out there, and I know that a lot of time when you're in college, you don't have a lot of time to get a full-time job. It's very difficult, and if you do, something's gonna suffer. Either your grades are gonna suffer because you're working full time and you don't have the time to study, or you'll be going to work late all the time because you're so tired from studying the night before and so forth. So something is going to suffer. So getting a part-time job might be your best bet. But these are the things that I feel like you can do to have a little bit of money in your pockets while being a broke college student. Next thing is credit cards. When I graduated high school, once I turned 18, like I was getting all these different mails, pre-approved, you're pre-approved, this and that, credit Capital One and American Express and all. Everybody is sending you letters because you are like fresh meat, okay? And your credit is like perfect at this time. You don't have anything on it unless your parents messed you up and used your name, use your credit for something else. But for the most part, once you graduate out of high school and you're 18 years old, your credit is like clean slate. So everybody wants a piece of your credit. But what most high schools and most parents fail to do is sit down and talk to their kids about the importance of making sure your credit is on point, because in this day and age, your credit is almost everything. So getting a credit card, to me, I think can be good and it can be bad. It can be good because, depending on how you use your credit card, it shows creditors that you're responsible. It can help you gain more credit lines. And then if you want to eventually buy a home one day, a car, if you need to finance a car or whatever the case is, that credit card can show that company that I'm a responsible person with my bills and just being with my money. But at the same time, being fresh out of high school, a lot of times you don't have that type of mentality. So you get a $500 credit card, you get $1,000 credit card, or a credit card with $1,000 credit line. She'll like, let's go shopping, sis, until the bill comes, and now you got to pay it back, and you can't afford to pay the bill, the credit card back. Now it's going into collections, and now you have messed up credit. So I would avoid credit cards if you know that you're not responsible enough to have them. If you know that you're responsible enough to have them, I get a credit card simply for emergencies, and then also to help build your credit. And then number ninth thing that I would talk about is doing extracurricular activities while in college. So join a club, um, join the band, join a sorority or fraternity, join something, the cultural club, the dance club, something, because your college career allows you to be able to network, to socialize, to meet new people. And it's like, when I was going to college, I was on my no new friend vibe. And now that I'm older, I wish I didn't have that mentality, because you miss out on a lot of new people, a lot of new introductions to new environments, because hey, this new friend that you meet might be that person that might take you to Japan one day, that might take you to Dubai one day, because that's where their family's from, or whatever the case may be. Or that new friend that you met in college, that you guys become longtime friends, might be that same person that might help you land your dream job, because they know they have connections there, or they got a job there, and now they have the opportunity to tell their boss about this wonderful person that they met, and they know that can do the job. So that no new friend mentality, like I said, I wish I didn't have it. I did. Oh, life goes on. But I'm telling you now, meet new people, gain new experiences, and join an extracurricular activity while you're in college. And then the last 10th thing that I wish not that I wish I knew, I wish I would have been more serious about it, is stay focused. A lot of times we let life take control of what we got going on. And when I was in Jacksonville, I became homesick, and I was doing good there. Like, I was really doing good in college there. Became homesick, and then I was dating my high school sweetheart there at the time. So now I'm trying to move back to Miami to be with family and friends, and because I felt homesick. And like I said, if I knew what I knew now, I would have just stayed, stuck it out, because I was doing good there. I was thriving. My grades was doing pretty good. When I came back down, I was not focused. I was more focused on partying, more focused on staying out with my friends, and da 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 da, and flunked out this semester, flunked out this semester, and then until I was like, you know what? Eventually, I started having to pay for classes, and when your money is paying for classes, you begin to take college seriously. So that's kind of how I was able to get through my last 2 years of the university and actually graduating. But stay focused. Stay focused. I'm not saying don't party. I'm not saying don't have fun. You're in college. This is when you should do those things. But there's a time to party, and there's a time to focus on your studying. Partying could be for the weekend, but if you got a big test coming up, maybe that weekend you could probably stay out, stay in, and just study instead. Stay focused, stick it through, and do what you got to do. This is not like one of the top 10 things, but what I do also want to mention before I leave this, college may not. This is my top 10 things of things I wish I knew before I went to college, because that's my life. That was my path. I went to college. Not everyone does. Not everyone has to. College isn't for everyone. But what I do believe is that you should have some sort of education in your hand, some sort of something, because you never know where life is going to take you. And even if you don't go to a traditional 4 year college, 2 year college, or whatever the case may be, you still want to have something in your hand. So even if you can get yourself a medical assistant, some sort of IT, an insurance adjuster license, a notary, something that, God forbid, if something happens to you and you lose this job, guess what? I have something in my hands that allows me to be able to get a job anywhere because I have it. So I'm not saying that everyone has to go to college, but I feel you should have something under your belt to allow you to be marketable for your employer, or even allow you to be able to have more knowledge in the field if you're going to be your own boss. Having that medical assistant degree or certificate in your hand will allow you to, be able to, I don't know, open something. If you don't know, if you have a paralegal license, eventually that can probably push you to open your own firm, something. But I hope this wasn't too long. I hope I was able to inspire someone. I hope I was able to give you a little bit more insight or give you a little bit more preparation before you go to college and get your adult life going. Until we meet again, until we speak again, bye, my Blessed Tribe. Peace